Hello ladies and gentlemen, welcome back to another White Star analysis video. I am Super Munyon, and today we will be looking at one of the Red Dawn's most recent White Star victory against BrazilCorp. And in this video we will focus among three things. Our first thing is efficiency, how to maximize mining, how to maximize artifacts. Our second thing is flagship usage, how to use the flagship properly. And our third thing is how to attack or defend. So without further much more of an introduction, I'm going to try to keep this one short. Let's jump right into efficiency. Okay, so the first thing that we're going to focus on is how to maximize efficiency in a White Star properly. And the best case scenario for a White Star is 5 people warp inch miners, 5 people mine, 5 people deposit, and then 5 people warp out those miners and come back with transports and take every single art in the planets that they've deposited on. So now this sounds really simple, but it becomes really tricky as your opponents will obviously attack you, and that will mess up some of your original plans, right? But we'll focus on defending later. We'll just talk about the general strategy. The general strategy is to use Genesis, enrich, and crunch. These 3 mining modules are key, right? You want to crunch asteroid fields that you don't want to stay at, such as this one right here, this one here, maybe this one here if you have time. But you want to crunch the asteroid fields that you don't want to mine, right? Because crunch instantly collects hydrogen and instantly collects them from all of the asteroid fields, right? So essentially this way, if you go from say jump gate to this asteroid, you move through the sector and you can basically mine out all of this without stopping. And so you want to use Genesis and enrich together on some of the rich asteroid fields, and you want to crunch the smaller asteroid fields. This way, you can get maximum efficiency in mining, and you'll get the most amount of hydro in the shortest time. As you can see, our 4 miners are coming this way. Where's the 5th? Oh yeah, there's the 5th. Late to the party, buddy, but it's okay. But as you can see, crunch this asteroid field, and later we will crunch this asteroid field here. Now, crunch should have been used over here instead. That was one small mistake, because then Dune can crunch this asteroid field instead. But it's whatever. As you can see, Genesis is used here, and enrich should also be shortly used, but it's not for some reason. Yeah, enrich should have been used in this asteroid field, but yeah, that enrich was a bit late, but it's whatever. Same thing. Okay, same results. And once again, enrich and Genesis. But Genesis should generally come before enrich, so that enrich can enrich the Genesis asteroids. Is Genesis a word? No, the asteroids that were genocized. I don't know. Who cares? Don't call me out. Okay, so after we did that, we want to mine out this asteroid field, and then once again crunch these. Easy peasy. Now this is not maximum efficiency. It's close, but it's not maximum, because as you can see, a lot of these transports aren't full. They're almost full, but they're not. So this is not an example of perfect efficiency, but this is an example of good efficiency, right? And then time warp. If you look at this, you generally for transports you only need 2 to 3 time warps. This way you can transport the time warp the entire group. The rest of the miners can bring like a barrier to protect the group from teleports or from delta shield type of ships. So yes, here we go, and the transport are warped back in. And this is another example of oh, excuse me, there my audio file glitched and got corrupted and sad things happened. But basically this is another example of not maximum efficiency. You want to always jump in immediately as soon as possible, right? And all these ships should have relic drones to get bonus artifacts from level 10 planets and stuff. And yeah, so here we go, grab the artifacts, come back, and we basically make it back just in time for the white star to explode. Well, not exactly. Okay, so there's about like 16 hours, right? If we look, like there was 16 hours of wasted time where 3 to 4 members just sat on a jump gate and did nothing. So that is not maximum efficiency, but it's close, right? Like, you want to time it so that all your artifacts make it back at the last second so that you have the most artifacts. But once again, this is not maximum. This is just close to maximum efficiency. And there we go. So in summary, to get maximum efficiency, make sure all your miners are full, crunch asteroid fields that you don't have the time to mine out, and focus mining on these big asteroid fields with Genesis and Ridge, whatever, right? And then once you get back, we failed to do this, but try to send relic drones to the level 10 planet to grab some, but use your main transports to get artifacts from the level 5 planet. And there we go. That's how you get maximum efficiency. So let's move on to the next topic. Okay, so our next topic is flagship usage. And flagship usage is something that most lower level corps screw up on because they have their flagships sitting around doing nothing. So what you want to do with your flagship is you want to immolate as much as possible in the lower levels, at least, because it's not useful for much else, right? In the higher levels, there's like leave vengeance, there's a bunch of weird stuff. But in this level, you want to immolate as much Cyberus as possible. I've said multiple times. I sound like a broken record now. But you'll see what I mean, because their corp makes the mistake of immolating once and then leaving. If I was commanding their corp, I would have immolated here, immolated here, immolated here, and then went back up to immolate while the battleships just camped down here or up here, right? And for Red Dawn, we would immolate here and then immolate there. A flagship generally just stays behind and guards miners. But if you watch what they do, they mess up like most corps do and have their flagship do nothing there. Their flagship doesn't even use its most powerful ability, the immolation, right? This guy's shields is at what? What is that? You know what? I'm just gonna give a rough estimate. That guy's shields is like 70%. 30% of his shields were destroyed by Cyberus. That's just sad, dude. And you could have just went and immolate. And look at so many asteroids wasted because they did not immolate there. They did not send miners there. So, yeah, that's why their efficiency. That's why we were better at efficiency. Now, the second module that most new corps or lower leveled corps mess up on is recoil. Most corps recoil directly at your opponent's miners, and you never want to do that. That's a horrible idea. And here's why. I'm about to show you why. They start to recoil. We see their recoil, so what do? Well, we just get out of there, and the recoil is wasted, right? Now, this is a perfect example of how you use recoil. Their miners are going, there's nothing protecting them. There's no way they can send a ship there to block it, and their miners are just doomed. That's a death sentence. There's nothing they can do. They don't have an EMP, they don't have nothing. And thus, that is how recoil is used properly. And back, their flagship goes back for no reason. And I'm going to give another example real quick of how to not use recoil. Okay, right here. They recoil here. Now, here's what BrazilCorp was seeing. In their time warp and in our time warp, at this moment, the recoil comes, kills 1, 2, 3 ships, right? But when you recoil, you have to remember your opponents are not idiots. They know how the game works too, and they know to test many different possible outcomes in their time machine. So what do? Well, we just move one away. Their flagship goes, targets our flagship, dies instantly, right? The recoil did nothing. And we, once again, recoil to this, and this is relic drones, so their relic drones can't change course or anything. and we just snatch that relic drone. Easy peasy. And then another place that we could have used recoil was right here. There's things were going, we could have recoiled here, got their transports, but we were like, whatever, we're gonna let them have a couple transports, or have a couple artifacts, because we're nice. But yeah, so in summary, when you use recoil, you don't want to recoil at them, you want to recoil in front of them and make them walk into it, because they can't change course. And another takeaway would be to try to immolate as many Cyberus ships as possible. And so yeah, that's our second focus point, and this was just fun. This is just flex. We were like, oh, we have recoil, we just didn't use it on you. And so yeah, that's our second focus point. Now our third and most important focus point is how to attack and defend, right? So I'm just going to go through the replay a bit and show don't tell, how to attack and how to defend. Well, actually, I'm going to tell, because showing is pointless. You've already seen the replay. There's no point on just showing. It's better to tell a bit. It's better to describe a bit, you know. But you see what's going on here? They have a very fortified position. You have 5 ships, we have 3, right? So when attacking, you don't want to attack into a fortified position with them having I'm forgetting, modules, with them having full modules. That's a bad idea. You're just killing yourself. There's no point. Stop punching yourself, right? So what you want to do is you want to wait for a good opportunity, and that's exactly what we do here, right? We wait for them to make a mistake. We wait for their lines to break for a second. And here we see, or we don't exactly see something, but we're trying to set up something, right? Send one guy down, we send one guy up, and one guy as reserves. And that's when they make the mistake. They move away, right? They move 2 of their ships away. Now look at this. This teleport can go there, right? But why would you need 2 ships? You can just send one and have one camp the planet, right? The second this guy Dune teleports, you go, right? And then you have enough barriers and suppresses to keep him there while your other reinforcements come, right? So there's no point for you to break formation here. But they break formation, so we find out, hey, we can 1v1 this guy, right? Syndra can 1v1 as, I'm not going to pronounce that, but Big A. I'm just going to call him Big A. And then Dune can 1v1, oh shit, it's also Big A. Okay, we're going to call this guy AL and this guy AS. Dune can 1v1 AS, Syndra can 1v1 AL. And now at this point, they just lost completely. What can they do, right? They don't have teleports, they don't have anything to help this guy. This guy dies, there's nothing like they can do now. Now, instead of a 3v5, it's a literal 3v3 now. Of course, they're running away, but the thing is, we hold this planet now. Now they have to wait. They have to break our attack for them to get transports again, right? And of course, this guy barriers, but it's... What does that do? Of course, like this right here, we maybe could have bonded him, but it doesn't matter. His 1 HP, right? And he has to run with his tail between his legs. So there's no like point for us to do anything. So now it's a 3v2 in this fight. And we use our bonds, and they're just screwed because bond is powerful. And this guy EMPs too early. He should have waited for Super Munion's bond before EMPing. And evidently, Syndra just finishes off AL, and AS escapes, but he's going to have to go all the way back to Jump Gate, and ZMA is not going anywhere. He's just going to die. Nothing he can do. See, he could have moved, but he didn't even move because he knew he was so screwed. And now, right here, in this situation, the red star is over. Now, the only way, because they have 6 artifacts and we have 0, they need their win condition right now is to kill literally all of our transports, and that's what they try to do. But when you're attacking or defending, you never ever want to make long jumps. Always do short asteroid hops. Here, right? This way your opponent doesn't know where you're going. But this, you can't even change course. So you just go here, and his teleport is forced. He is forced to TP. And then our guy seeing that he TPs, wonderfully decides to TP too, right? Like he wants to chase him. Like, so he TPs to this asteroid. And there's actually a lot of reasoning behind this teleport, but I talked with some of the like pro or professional Hades Star players, and they told me that I'm not allowed, like I have a legal order, non-disclosure agreement, to not tell you why more planets here decides to teleport to this asteroid. Now it's very, very, very good, but I can't tell you why. You're gonna have to figure that one out for yourself, mate. So they teleport down here, and in this position, I'd say he has a very good chance of getting us, right? His flagship's coming down with recoil, so all like it's like shooting fish in a barrel. Like, this is a delta shield versus, okay, this guy has barrier and teleport, but if he plays properly, he could have the possibility of getting all of these ships. So, but they burned their recoil, useless. They could have just recoiled here and got these 3 relic drones, but they didn't, so they recoiled here and wasted it. And this guy just runs in and dies. He doesn't even try to, okay, he does alpha rocket, but we catch him, he just dies. Kind of pointless death. Okay, and from there, the game is just won. Now, before we finish, I just want to point out another legendary play, which is from AS over here. AS has a legendary move where he EMPs. Now, this EMP almost won them the game. But, once again, I talked with the professional Hades Star players, and they made me sign a non-disclosure agreement, so I can't tell you why. But yeah, so in summary, when you're attacking, you have to look for them to make mistakes. You can't go in on your own, because when you're attacking, you always have the disadvantage. So you have to wait for their mistakes. And when you're defending, you always want to shadow your opponents like HT did, right? He shadowed the guy coming in with the delta shield. And so that's our third talking point, and I guess that concludes this. Thank you so much for watching. If you made it this far, I'm very, very proud that I can create content that would allow you to pay attention for so long. Thanks for listening. Thanks for subbing, I guess, and liking. Please, I just want 10 dislikes on this video. Let's see if we can get there. Thanks so much. Have a wonderful